chat. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50 with you guys. A buck 50 if you speak English and not freaking New Yorker. I'm tired. And I think it's from literally sleeping at like 6 in the morning. I literally went from like when I was in my job arc, I would wake up at 6 in the morning, and now you can catch me not outside, but in my bed. How about that? Right? And that's enough Daniel Broccoli. I think she's yesterday's news. But you know what isn't yesterday's news? Oh, actually, no, it was. It was yesterday. Oops. I didn't even mean that. And this will probably be on the first take as well. That's crazy. But anyway, yesterday's news was Dandadan. Oh boy. The overarching feeling is definitely sad. Like, but what I really want to get into, wow, I am so out of it's supposed to be Chainsaw Man Tuesday, but like they canceled on it. Not really. They're on a break. Um, but I'm kind of repeating myself when I say this, where I think these chapters have been really brilliant on having an overarching theme. And what I mean by that is that like um with the what was it? With the Okarun and Sakata like mini arc that we had, it was kind of like a teamwork sort of thing. And then we would also see like the levels of which people have kind of found their stride and the and that sort of ordeal. And then we go to like Team Aira and Rin and Kouki and like confidence and ability and stuff like that. And it's brilliant. I think it's genuinely so brilliant. And in this one, although quite sad, we see like the reality of two people, one at a side roads, like for like how they can impact, and the other one being helpless and not having the ability to impact. So like the choices that you have or the lack of choices, um, the freedom of choice. I think that's like the overarching thing. I feel like we're back in English class, but thank you. Thank you, English teacher in grade 12 that actually taught me something. But I think that's quite beautiful. And I think, Tatsu, you've been doing amazing for that sense. Like, I can't say I've been the most engaged in some of the chapters, um, but this one was amazing. Like, other than just like the freaking like themes and stuff like that. Because now, like, Momo's been like pygmified, right? And from what you remember, because you totally remember, we Dandadan fans totally remember what happened in the series, just like the Chainsaw Man ones. Um, Pygmies, start to almost cease to exist. Not literally, but like they blend into the fabric of reality and are like never to be seen again unless they're like sought after, right? I mean, we're gonna see something cute and, you know, unfortunately, Okarun and Aira start dating. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, Okarun's gonna come back from Momo and be like, yo, where's my like 2-inch girl? And then Momo's gonna be like, hi, I'm here. And then she accidentally gets crushed in the end. And the real Dandadan was the fucking crushing of the relationship along the way. I don't know. I don't freaking know, but I think it does insinuate, or at least reminds us of like, I think insinuate like a ticking time bomb, like for her condition. And we see the serious steps that her grandma is implementing, and along with like the crew and stuff like that, right? So it's happening. And then Miss Adachi's crossroads is really interesting because now she's being told, hey, that was your amigo. I don't know what kind of, whining and dining happened the other chapter, but like, yo, like we had a deal. You need to like step the fuck up, right? But I think it also taps into a very interesting dilemma that a lot of people, I think, have, unfortunately, and I'll go into it, where Miss Adachi finds herself in a situation where she's trying to impact things as best as she could. I thank you, neighbors, for working on stuff. Um, she's trying her best, right? Sick mom, I believe, like ill mom. And I mean, she probably helped a lot, especially with her career and stuff like that. But she's trying to play a game similar to how you'd play a game against the house, like a game of blackjack. You're just not destined to win. And it's clouding her judgment. Um, and there's no overarching winner except for really, really Saint Germain. Now look, it's a cruel world. I think I mean, it was what I was trying to get to earlier, where people are, like robbing and stealing, for example, and they find that it's just the one thing that they can really do. I mean, the other alternative to them is probably working $15 an hour, right? And then just having enough for like the Madville and your groceries, and like the rest goes into like rent kind of thing. Like, I get that. I mean, I know that I know that like it's a lot more serious. Like I'm just using an example, a very very off the a very inaccurate example, but there are people that kind of rationalize it based off like the severity of their situation. And it's really sad because, well, it's sad. I don't know why I added the word like because. Um, that they have to turn to a life of crime to sustain very innocent desires. Um, and Saint Germain is capitalizing on that. And I think Saint Germain is almost an embodiment in a way. Wow, this is really deep. I'm 23 and this is deep. Um, so there's the whole overarching stop hitting things. There's the overall art, like overarching thing about Dandadan being like a puberty and coming to age and kind of like, going into adulthood, figuring stuff out, right? And then on top of that, you have the big bad, which is, how would I put this? Like, how far, like, people would go to kind of better their lives. And usually, I mean, I know Hase and Kouki are like underage examples, but it's generally adults that just are like fucked over in situations and kind of retaliating or not retaliate. Well, they're they're retaliating at the world because they want something to remedy their shit surroundings, like their shit sense, their shit set of circumstances. I can't talk. I'm so cooked. I don't know. I don't know. Why do you guys listen to me for 9 hours? Anyway, yeah, no Chainsaw Man. Dandadan. Very serious Dandadan. And you know what? You know what's the realest, biggest tragedy of them all? That I'm still addicted to Poker Rogue and I'm going to be hopping on right now